Chi-Town's #1 rock station, Z159 FM. Right. Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, Hot Tub and Mini Fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
Z159 FM.
Call Tom and Dan now. 1-844-TOM and Dan. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. Leave him a message, and you just might hear yourself on the show. 1-844-TOM and DAN. Call them now. Or later.
It's a mediocre time with Tom and Dan.
Put some respect on my name.
Respect our name.
I ain't gonna say it no more.
You crack-ass motherfuckers.
Town's #1 rock station, Z159 FM. Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Happy July 1st, everybody. Happy Jeff Howe's birthday. Happy my father's birthday.
Really?
Dan R. would have been 83 today. Happy birthday. There's no heaven, but happy birthday out there if you believe that energy is still coursing around in the universe. Happy birthday, Dad. 83. Kind of weird.
I was talking to Crystal yesterday because she likes to fill my son's heads with magic. And,
like happy heavenly birthdays? I don't do that. We don't do that.
No. Just she was like, well, people describe.
Is this the warm up? I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
People describe talking to their loved ones, like right before they die. She was like, hospice employees have talked about, like, they know when someone's about to die because they
start babbling incoherently,
start talking to their loved ones that have already died. And she's like, that's kind of weird that that a lot of different people have reported that that's happening. And I was like, well, it could be easily explained by hallucinations. Your brain is evolved to make yourself not scared of death. So right before you die,
a lot of times you're on drugs too. Let's talk about that. You want to talk about? Like, we can't talk about this. No. But here, let me give you a real world.
Depressing,
Do you remember there was so much drugs in my mom, and the sepsis was so bad that she thought I was her insurance agent and was yelling at me. Remember that? They don't know what's happening.
And then I was like...
I know that's really dark and sad, but it's true. I mean, she thought I was Brent O'Quinn. Do you know who Brent O'Quinn is? My old surfing buddy. And he's also he was my insurance agent. I love that guy. He's a great guy. Shout out to Brent.
So then I thought of a stand-up bit. I often think of stand-up bits that I'll never do because I don't want to do stand-up.
I like that.
And but I was like, this would be funny.
I often think of architecture I'll never build.
Because the whole premise of meeting your loved ones in the afterlife, is funny to me in the fact that you're like, oh, hey, Pop, and then he's like still talking about the same shit that he talked about when he was alive,
like Coco.
Obama, like still bitching about Obama.
You're doing Coco,
and then all these other relatives that you know, and then how long it would be, an eternity of talking to your dead relatives.
It's bad.
Like, you imagine how awkward
and they
it would
freeze
be?
at the state they were at, right? That's where they freeze.
Yeah. I would actually like to talk to my young Pop, like World War II.
Bet he was horny.
20.
He's a good-looking dude.
18-year-old.
But he wasn't like he wasn't like some known womanizer or anything. So I'll take that back. He was just like a cool dude.
Yeah,
he liked a couple of beers. He liked, but I'm not saying he wasn't like a womanizer. He liked ladies. He liked a couple of cold beers.
I'd never seen.
He liked America.
Besides my grandma, which they divorced before I was born, and then he had a girlfriend for a little bit. But he was a hard man.
The only thing I heard about, and you told
with.
me to not dox anymore, so I will not. But you told me of some photos that were found. That's the only story I know that made me laugh.
Oh, the Everglades swamp.
Am I allowed to talk about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, yeah. I'm doing better, not just blurting things out.
His buddies got
this makes me laugh. It's fucking awesome.
Florida Everglades swamp hag, and it was rough. But
it's all right.
She was out there topless.
You didn't try it. You don't know knock it until you try it.
In the Everglades.
Yeah,
and
sling a little mud on those titties.
And he had his arm around her, but it seemed like
they're
she
just
was
having
out there.
some beers. She's just got her titties out there having some
Yeah,
beers.
yeah.
Honestly, what you're talking about, like I found some photos in my dad's thing of like some naked ladies sitting around a pool. I think that was.
Was he there?
He's not in any of the photos, so I can't confirm any of that. I think
but there looked like
they're real photos.
He must have took
they're
them.
real photos. I don't know, but I know he kept them. And I know there were naked ladies, a big bush and great titties, because that's why they ran them back then. It's big bush, great titties. And curvy. I like the little waist, big mega ass.
Yeah,
When's that coming back? The little waist mega ass. The Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, I think that's all genetic.
I think women think we've done such a poor job of shitting on women's bodies and confidence that they don't even know what to do anymore.
Well,
we fucked it all up.
No.
We fucked it all up.
Well, you're doing it right now. You're asking, like, why don't they have a curvy?
I know.
You're like, well, that shit is genetic.
That's the joke.
Like, you can't just get that.
Gotta get some spanks.
Your fat accumulates wherever your genes tell it to.
You know what's weird is all of my fat accumulates on my inner thighs. Big fat inner thighs.
Yeah, that's
giant. And they rub together red hot.
Yeah.
I have to put a little bit of olive oil on my thighs every morning to keep them moving.
It'll turn gray.
This is all fake.
The skin will turn gray.
Yeah, it will turn gray. We've seen people.
Rubbing.
All right, great warm up. What are we doing here? You want me just to bring up some stuff?
Yeah. Let's talk
I know what I want to start with. So let's start with
stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Here we go. I will start. This is the beginning.
Yes.
Here we go. In 3, 2. It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
We're live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you join us. Just come on over to where you watch your videos and your YouTube videos and find us. Just search for @TomandDanLive. If you're a Twitch person, if you're a gamer, we are also in there. Just search for @TomandDan Live as well. Find us on all the social medias and follow us because we're doing events. I know that we will be doing another beer fest at some point, and there's things out there in the universe that I know Tom is like, got to start doing some stuff.
No, I just was emailing this morning, talking to a couple people about the beer fest. That's happening November 22nd.
Yep.
Then of course Sofa and Suds on the 23rd, which we got a meeting with Paul this week about.
Nice.
And we also have a family-friendly skate event going on at Cimarron Skateway July 12th. And it's free. Mo DeWitt is sponsoring everything.
Family-friendly, guys.
Yeah. Bring your family or just bring yourselves. It's just it's open to anybody who wants to come, and it's all free, and it's from 5 to 7. Get there early. Fill out the form. You have to register at justcallmo.com/skate. I talked to Busteker. He said that,
which is hard, by the way. Talking to that guy, Oh God! Many undotted I's and uncrossed T's. This guy doesn't know what direction he's going in.
There's only 300 more spots.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
And then it's sold out,
Yeah.
or at least where their Cimarron's Gateway's at capacity.
We should make Bus run a second, like an outdoor skating ring. He can run an outdoor skating ring.
I don't mean to. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe that 950 people have already registered. I think Bus is lying. That's it.
Wow. All right. That was bold. That's bold. Normally, I beat around the bush.
I can't believe it.
Known as Little Danny beat around the bush.
That's a lot.
You went right for it. It's impressive. People like Mo.
I think maybe it's
Have
a
you been
family
injured on the
event?
go? Do you know who to call? We have a problem in my house because Maisie's been saying, injured on the way, just call May. And I'm like, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Oh, you got to get
But
her.
she's been saying, injured on the way, just call May. And now she wants to do a commercial with Mo.
Who's the Doogie Howser of lawyers? Like, can you become a lawyer
Very young?
at like 15?
I don't know if she has the smarts for that, buddy. She might have the jumping ability, but
you don't need the smart. You just need the dedication.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, Mo is one of the smartest people I've ever met.
But there's also attorneys in town that splash champagne in their eyes. We know those guys that ride Colombian horses. We know those guys.
No.
The Colombian horse
riders.
riders.
I'll sue us. They're
For
crazy.
What? For saying he sprayed champagne in his eyes?
Yeah,
you know what I say?
No,
Come to get
me.
Because I
will.
saw the
It's
video.
crazy.
I saw the video. Come and get
No.
me. Leopard print shirt, champagne
No,
straight in the
it's
eyes.
fine, no.
Flo Rida was pumping up the crowd.
Anyway, Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser.
Because
What you want me to spell? Doogie Howser?
Do you have to just be 18? Is there 18,
I think you could be
right?
younger than that, right? Why can't you? Why do you have to be 18 to be a lawyer? Why?
Well, I guess because you're an adult, you can't. You have to be a legal adult, I believe.
Why? What's the
I don't know.
Why? It's
I have
all
no
about
idea.
intelligence and what you know.
Well, ask Mo.
It has nothing to do with your age.
Yeah. Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser.
He was under 18.
Yeah, he was a doctor, though.
Yeah, well, that's harder. You're in charge of someone's life.
Well, you're in charge of someone's life, too. Well, you could.
None
you
of
know.
your. I mean, if you're
you send them up the river.
a defense attorney.
Hey, you're talking family-friendly events, and I would like to beg your permission for a small pivot here of something else I wrote down. You were talking about family-friendly. Family-friendly. We're doing a good skating event out there at Cimarron Skateway, and we really want you to bring your families, grandma, all the kids, and come out and skate with us. Have you heard the term Nateland? Does that mean anything to you? Nateland.
No.
Okay. Did you know, I read an article this morning, that it is comedian Nate Bargatze, who is, at this moment, he is the top-tier comedian. He's the guy. Bigger than Chappelle, bigger than anybody. He's the guy, right?
Which is crazy that he was in here and we didn't know. We're like, who?
Well, we knew who he was.
Another white dude coming in here.
Who's this boring white guy? He couldn't get on Letterman because he was told he was, quote, too mundane. He had to look that word up.
Oh, before.
I don't know if that's a joke or not, but he put it in the article.
Before he got,
Yeah, couldn't get on Letterman, any of this. He's the biggest comedian in the world. And do you know what he has claimed in this article that was released today? I forget what I read. Like, it's in a big publication. Anybody can go out there and find it. He claims that he is about to leave in the next month on his biggest tour that he's ever done.
Okay.
Then after
is that the My Big Dumb Eyes?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Big Dumb Eyes.
Because I've seen it.
He's got a book called Big Dumb Eyes that I think came out.
He's coming to the arena.
I was thinking of trying to scoop up some of the upper bowls.
Yeah.
I'm good on, man. I'll tell you, the secret to living in Orlando is don't sleep on the upper bowl. We have amazing facilities here. Upper bowl is just fine.
But then I'm just watching it on TV. And I'm like,
I know, it's awesome. You're naked.
Yeah. But
okay, anyway, back to this. Okay, so he claims he's going to go out on this tour, Big Dumb Eyes. After that, he's going to do one more big stand-up tour. This is a 5-year plan. Then after that, and let me get my paperwork here, he has decided to, he is going to quit and form, and he's already done the back-end work on this.
Okay.
He's forming a full entertainment company called Nateland. He's going to start a farm system for younger comedians that can come up under his brand, and he can give them guidance.
Okay.
He's going to start he has co-written and he's starring in his first movie this year. So that's the beginning of it.
Okay.
Then he's going to start producing family-friendly TV shows. And he wants to buy the area that used to be in Nashville, Opryland theme park, and make it a real theme park called Nateland. And he's not kidding. This is not a joke. This is not he's goofing around. He sees that family-friendly, I don't curse, people still think I'm funny lane. I'm the biggest thing in the world. And he says, you know what? I'm doing the stand-up thing now, 5-year plan, and I'm out. And then I'm going to concentrate on my company. I'm going to concentrate on buying the Opry. He's already sourcing how to create a theme park. He's already doing the back end work on like how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna model it like after Dolly Parton. I'm gonna put it in the area of Opryland because he grew up. I've been to Opryland as a young boy. And he's using nostalgia to fuel his own dreams. I don't know,
great.
Dude. It's a great article. And you talking about family friendly, the Mo Skate deal. I'm like, people there's a lot of sadness out there right now. We like being with other humans and seeing the real. And the real is not on the internet. The real is inside Cimarron Skateway, skating with a bunch of fun people and having a great time. That's the family. That's the village. That's the the live your life part. I'm with him. I think it's a very clever idea, and I admire the fact that here's a guy that's never worked blue. It's not. He doesn't. I don't think he enjoys it, right? Like I do. I like filthy, dirty. I mean, it's everybody's different.
Yeah.
But like you look at him and he's.
I like both. Because
I do too.
I really enjoy his comedy.
Oh, it's so good. It's
funny
so
is
good.
funny. It doesn't matter if it's dirty or clean. If it's
I just
want to
laugh.
Yeah.
And I don't
you can
find
do
him
both.
mundane at all. In fact, I find his delivery to be the thing I love the most. Like the fact that he is like kind of plodding along gently. I love that.
Here's what I would worry about if I was him. And obviously I'm not. So this could be a passion of his.
Well, the big one is not just the theme park. Let me add this, is that he wants to do like all of the shows that were big on like ABC, like the TGIF, like the Full House, the Home Improvement, all of that. He wants to bring that back.
Okay,
that's his biggest thing. Is he's like, I see a market. I see in television, what do we have? We got like reality shows. You got some game shows. You got like Squid Game, Ultraviolence. You got like Game of Thrones, stuff like that. But where's the Family Matters?
So here's the risk of this.
Okay.
And this is what I'm thinking.
hit me
It's
with
just
it.
as thinking in the business terms, right? And also
I never think in business terms.
In enjoyment of life, there's two things here. One is, and I realize this as I've gotten older and, seeing the reality of like your day-to-day operations with doing anything, is like he loves to do stand-up, obviously, right? And this is how he became so good at it.
I don't know. I think he does, but after reading the article, it sounds like he does and he doesn't. Like, it seemed to me like he could take it or leave it. He's got bigger plans. And I'm not used to people with that because, honestly, man, I'm doing my plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I never went further than this. Like, I enjoyed doing this. This is fine for me.
I'm only guessing or theorizing that he loves stand-up just because that's the lane he went into. And he obviously had to practice and grind a lot to even get to where he is. Like even when we interviewed him, he was doing the improv circuit, and before that he was doing, what I'm saying? Like, we've seen how you come up in stand-up. So, he's used to doing that. And now he's, dabbling in or to start a theme park and start a production company. And when you get into running a theme park or production company, now he could just maybe hire managers to do that.
Here, let me,
And but you still, if this is what you want to do, you want your hand in it. So you want to making decisions, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you have a guy running and managing people, but he's still making decisions, and that's a full-time job.
So his full plan is making and starring in movies and TV shows, which he's already got the first one written in, and it's being filmed now.
Yeah.
He wants to launch a line of family-friendly media content similar in the tone of TGIF. He wants to do more books, and he wants to produce more podcasts. Now, he's worth like $500 million. He wants to create a farm system for new comedians. That's the one that I thought was the most interesting, is that much like sports, he wants to have like more of a mentorship program. Like, it's kind of like, how many times have we heard local comedians here in Orlando talk about Ken Miller being the greatest mentor to Orlando's younger comics?
Yeah.
Because he's been doing it for so long, right? So like I think he's trying to do a little bit of that, but like at a very, very, very high, or the highest level. But then it says what he's already done so far. So he already launched Nateland Productions. He already hired more than a dozen employees that are working for Nateland. He already wrote the first movie, and it's being filmed. He already started all of the market research for the theme park. So that's going on right now. Like, they're planning it. And he already rolled out his Nateland brand.
So going back to now you're doing all these things. And
too many plates, you think?
Your day-to-day ends up being, it's like Monday, we have meetings about the theme park. Mondays and Fridays. Tuesdays, we got meetings about the production schedule for our new sitcoms that we're, you know, and then all of a sudden now you're working this 9-to-5 job where you're essentially the head of the production company and the head of the theme park, and you're the boss. So then that job is completely different than what his job is now.
I think that's what he wants to do, though.
And then, but if that's great if you end up doing that and you're like, I like it.
Right.
But you're like, what if it's not what you like?
Right.
And you just, now you're working an office job and, you know, and you're like, oh man, I like doing stand-up and I like the road and I like writing jokes, but I don't like this.
It's funny because the tone of the article is very much from the person writing it, the same question you have, and he's adamant. He is dead. He is dead set. He's like, nope, I'm out. And the more surprising part is that he's doing a beyond Seinfeld in saying that he's out in 5. Like, so if you want to see him right now, you better save your money because if he's dead set on his plan, he is not going to tour like he tours now. Like, he does world tours now where he can come to any state.
And then the second risk I see here is, as of right now, everybody, you know, because of his success, likes his stand-up specials, right? We all watch them on Netflix, and we all see, and they're funny, right? And we all like going to his stand-up and watching him live. Obviously, based on he's doing arenas, like $100 million tours, right?
Huge.
So that's what we know for sure, 100%. People like Nate Bargatze's stand-up.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee they're going to like whatever else because all this other stuff he's not involved in.
You always hate the untested.
Well,
but you got to try stuff. See,
of course,
I admire more him wanting to do it than to. Hold on, somebody's calling us. I think it's the chat room because they are all about Opryland theme park for whatever reason. Let's see if I got him here. Thanks for calling, Tom and Dan. Who's this?
Hey, it's Kara.
You want to talk about Opryland. So, Kara's fired up. She's like all about Opryland. Go, Kara, tell us.
Listen, Tom, you are just wrong on this one, buddy. This is Nate's dream. I absolutely loved Opryland as a kid and into a young adult and was so sad when they closed it down. Everyone in Tennessee will 100% support this. And it's Nate's dream. He has the money to do it now. If you had the money, just like ultimate money, to live your dream, would you not just quit everything else and fixate on that?
It's funny, Kara, what you hear or you thought you heard me say. I didn't say it wasn't going to work. I was just questioning a man's dream. That's what I do. You see what I'm saying,
He's
Kara?
a dream questioner.
I question my own dreams. You see, like at one point, my dream was to sail around the world with my wife on a sailboat.
I question that dream.
No.
I was like,
that's a crazy dream.
That's a stupid dream.
And then it dawned on me all the work and the other stuff you'd have to learn, and it's not. You only romanticize the good parts of it. You don't see the grind of it and all stuff. So
I think he's prepared though. I mean, he's $500 million, man. How do you not? He could just throw money at everything now.
No, of course. I just find it interesting to talk about. Yeah, this is what he wants to do, and good for him. He's got enough money that even if he wasted $100 million, who cares? He's got infinite money. I just find it interesting talking about like all the potential hazards of this, and then getting yourself, because sometimes you look at what you want, what your dreams are, then you build yourself a prison
of dreams.
You build yourself like, okay, this is what it takes to have these dreams, and you're like, oh, now I'm like doing all this work that I didn't necessarily want to do, or like my day-to-day life is not what it was. Maybe I don't know why I did this.
I'm pretty sure he'll think about that. Hey, Kara, tell us real quick, why does Opryland resonate with you so much and with other people? Because, I've been to Dollywood this past weekend. I loved every second of it. I think it's a top tier. If you like roller coasters, I'm just going to say it. I've never been to a theme park that has better roller coasters than Dollywood. Now, with that being said,
let me just add.
Yeah, you said that Opryland would give it a run for its money back in the day. So, and I went there as a kid, but I don't remember it.
So some of the some of the roller coasters that are at Dollywood were actually taken from Opryland when they dismantled it. So some of those roller coasters that you enjoyed at Dollywood are from Opryland. And I'm telling you, it was just a beautiful park. Everyone was, Nashville's just so friendly in general. But also there was some music aspect to it. So there were different themed areas, like rock, like it was just different.
They're gonna retheme it this year. They're gonna have a Morgan Wallen ride where you get up on the top of a bar and you launch a bar stool off the top of it, and then they're gonna have a Shabuzi ride.
Park. It was just a really amazing park, and I cannot stress that anyone in the Nashville area or in Tennessee will 100% support. It is one of the things that everyone that is a Nashville native says how much they miss is Opryland, USA. And to bring anything that is even remotely close to that will be a boom for whoever does it. And that's just a fact.
It's a good way for Nate Bargatze to immortalize himself in Tennessee.
I think that's what he wants to kind of do.
And if you build yourself a theme park, like that's pretty high in, I guess, making yourself a legend in the town.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
we did an Airbnb in Sanford.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we shut it down.
Yeah, we did. We shut it down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jeserton Land has been shut down after 3 years of. How many lesbians did we push through our Airbnb before it closed down, Tom?
So I wonder what he's like. If you're building a theme park, you rides and then what else?
I think you just copy the blueprint that was there. Because that's all Dolly's done, man. Come on. It's not like, okay, like they did a really nice job at Dollywood in that, like, they took the butterfly theme that she has. So everything is like bugs and flowers, right? And you're in the middle of the woods. So they have and they split it up. So you have one area is like country music superstars. And then the next area is like the fairies and the butterflies. And then the next area is Main Street, USA. And then the next area is old school carnival games. So you just separate it. You just look at what Opryland was, and he's creative enough to go through and change all the stuff. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty interesting article, but
it is. And you always the good thing about announcing this is it is you could always go back and no one cares. You know what I'm saying? Even in 10 years from now.
I wonder if he thinks about that. I bet he does.
Yeah, and 50, because, it's like announcing your retirement and then coming back out of retirement. People have been doing it for years, and no one's like, no way, how dare he betray my trust? People are just like, okay, I'll see him now. You know what I'm saying? So if you can always come out of retirement 10 years and then although that's a hard thing. I feel like once you get into that stand-up, the writing, the performing, you get out of it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it takes a while to get back in.
I forget who it was that was talking to Eddie Murphy. And I have another story I want to throw to you. There's somebody talking to Eddie Murphy last week. It came in as a headline. They were like, and Eddie Murphy admitted that this particular big comedian, it's another big black comedian, was talking to him and was like, nah, man, you can't do stand-up now. And Eddie's like, what do you mean? And the guy's like, you're not funny anymore. And Eddie's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, you haven't been doing this at all. You haven't done this in 20 years, 30 years. You don't know. You're not. You're back at the beginning again.
What could he?
And I don't necessarily believe that. But I'm not a stand-up comedian, so I don't know.
Okay. Have you seen? I was going to talk to Ross about this yesterday. There's been an uptick in one-man show style stand-up specials. Sarah Silverman, Crystal watched Sarah Silverman's new special, and it's pretty dark. Dude. It's about her dead parents, but it's more of a one-woman show style, stand-up special. Than
like Jeff
Ross doing. And then we just watched another person. God, who was it?
There's too many comedians. Everybody's having to show that they can do something else.
Another comedian just did, and when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like a one-man show style.
Moses Storm tried to do one, but he got sick. He was another up-and-comer.
And so I think they just figured out a formula of hey, just I can tell story about my life, make it funny. Like I'll go and work it out in some clubs.
Sarah weave in some tragedy, man. Like,
Yeah.
She told some stories on that press tour about her dad
Yeah.
killing her brother. Like, you remember that? You didn't see that? She revealed that she thinks that she kind of put the pieces together after talking to her dad, and her grandfather, must have shook her little brother to death. And her dad revealed that to her, like, on his deathbed. And he's been carrying that on his mind and on his heart and in his life.
Hold on. So, like, his dad?
Sarah Silverman's little brother was staying with her grandfather.
Okay.
And the baby must have been uncontrollably crying like babies do.
Yeah.
And the grandfather was known to have a temper and was kind of an insufferable dude. And he must have picked the baby up and shook it. And they covered it up sort of within the family, and it like her little brother died. And then on his deathbed, I could be getting this a little bit wrong, but I think I'm pretty close. On his deathbed, Sarah Silverman's father revealed to her that the grandfather had shook her little brother to death.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't in the special.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, she's one of those people that can, like, she's like that type of performer to me that can, like, John Leguizamo is another one of those guys that can do the super funny and super sad.
Yeah,
like, they can bring you in, and Jeff Ross can do it. I think people are doing that because this is just my theory. With so many people having voices and so many people having microphones, so many people having podcasts, including us, I think it's harder now for people that professionally stand in front of microphones to get people to pay attention to you. So you can't just do comedy. You got to show them a little something else. You got to be a little more human. You got to you got to give them more.
Also, maybe like an easier equation for them because, like, as you know, when you mix in the super heavy stuff, sometimes it's easier to get the laugh after because you're going up and down with the motions and so you're going kind of dark.
Yeah, make them tender a little bit. Yeah, it's easier to.
It's like comedy at a funeral.
Yeah,
it's an easy audience to make laugh because everybody's so tense and it's so serious. Then you use levity and then break them out of it.
Yeah.
And so when I was watching her do it, and then I was watching this other comedian do like a one-man special where it's like it's a comedy special, but there's heavy stuff in there too. I was like, man, I bet this is like a new trend that a lot of these comedians are going to start doing because it looked easier for them to put together rather than come up with an hour of straight jokes that you work on the road or whatever.
In some way, it might be more authentic.
Yeah.
Because straight jokes is not real.
Yeah, and then I know you're kind of telling stories and comedy stories about your life.
I love it, like the Jeff Ross thing, the Have a Banana for the Road or whatever it is, because we interviewed him a couple weeks ago. You guys can go back and listen to it if you want to. I want to see that so bad because I've always liked that. I always like it when people weave in their family somehow. I don't have a lot of family. Maybe that's why I gravitate to it. Like that's why I was so into your trip to Sweden and the fact that you're standing in a barn that belongs to your family. Like, that's wild to me. That's wild.
Yeah. Her family.
Doesn't matter. You're in it.
I'm not. I'm not the bloodline.
Doesn't matter. You're
I
connected.
signed the barn door, and I was like, I feel like I'm disgracing your bloodline because I'm outside, and they're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because they're so
They're
nice.
like, you think this is more important than it is. this is a door we use every day, and I'm like, I forgot. I mean, like, this is just your door.
All right, let's jump into like what I think the media isn't telling you.
Okay.
Let's jump into this Disney cruise ship kid.
Yes, I saw this. You told me about this yesterday.
Yeah, so apparently, let me get up my details here because I've been trying to get all the details of this and do some really deep digging into this. So
just give me the gist of the story first.
Okay, so the Disney Dream cruise ship was returning from the Bahamas. It had a regular Bahama itinerary. And apparently a 4 or 5-year-old girl, this was on June 29th, young girl fell overboard from the ship's 4th deck, and her father immediately jumped into the ocean after her. The crew responded within moments, launching a rescue boat and recovering both the child and the father from the water in a matter of minutes. Now, I used AI to do a deep research of all the articles that have been written about this because I was telling this to my wife one morning. We were talking about it over breakfast.
Yes.
And she was like, hey, did you hear about the Disney Dream? I was like, no, what happened? She's like, 4-year-old fell overboard. I go, oh, really? And we said it at the same time. We turned to each other and we're like, that doesn't happen. This is not a thing that happens.
Yes.
And I know that I sound like Tom when I say that, and it feels pretty good. You know what? Maybe you've got it right. I like these declarative statements are fun, man.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. The cruise ship is very protected against this situation.
And Disney even more than any cruise ship.
Yeah, making sure that every area a child could fit through is sealed up.
No, my wife knows. She's been on them. She goes, they've got
no
plexiglass.
accidents.
She's like, there's plexiglass on everything.
Yeah.
My wife has been on so many cruises.
A baby couldn't squeeze their way
she's in there.
out of the thing. Now, climbing over the railing is a
What
possibility.
if your dad sat you on the railing, Tom?
That's another possibility.
Well, it says right here, according to my deep research on the internet, and this is, I have footnotes from People magazine, it says that witness accounts, which I know are unreliable, but it says that people saw, this is a quote, a little girl fell overboard and her father jumped in to save her. Apparently, the dad set her on the railing. Then someone said, yes, I saw the dad put the kid on the rail to take a photo and the kid fell off. Okay, here's my thing. Everybody's touting this man as a hero. He is not a hero. But he is also not a villain. He fixed the mistake.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. We're
Even
good.
Steven.
Even, thank you. I wrote down even Steven. That's why we're in business together. He is fine.
Yeah.
We're all good.
You should not praise him. Do not attack him.
Do not attack him and do not praise him. He is back to, he's normal now. He fixed his mistake.
And he's getting it from his wife.
Oh, trust me.
Also,
they're probably divorced. They're probably done, right?
His daughter, who also knows what happens.
Oh, therapy. Therapy. How are you going to fix that?
Yeah. Well,
That's nightmares for life. So my point is, look, if he did set her up there, which he might have, I'm not saying he did, but if he sat her up there to take the picture and she fell, he jumped in, he fixed the mistake. Could have been $50,000 mistake. I don't care. He is in my book, in the Tom and Dan.
But you're right.
Scales of justice. Tell me, am I right or am I right?
No, 100%. Because he is no hero. You can't claim you're a hero if you caused the person to fall.
You cannot.
Or at least not cause, but you set her up for failure.
That's fantastic. You set her up for failure.
Yeah. And then, if you didn't sit her up there, she wouldn't have fallen.
Correct. So we're even, and now Disney. All right, because now there's other reports saying the dad can be charged. Now they're saying the dad could get in trouble for jumping over. That's not fair. He fixed the mistake.
Yeah,
you got to let him have this one.
Well, you could say he's child endangerment from putting your kid on a rail, but we've all done.
But
this.
he also saved the kid, which I think is against child endangerment.
Yeah, and then it's back to even again.
Concrete Toad in our Twitch chat room says no flotation device. He was treading water for 20 minutes. Not a hero because he's fixing the problem.
That's what he gets.
Yeah, but thank you. That's what you get.
Yeah. Now,
but we're not going to be able to do that, right? Like this.
I won't even say he has balls because any dad that is listening would have jumped in.
You don't have balls.
Every dad I know would have jumped in, of course.
You don't have balls if you're trying to fix a mistake either.
If my kid falls off a building that you cannot survive from, I'm jumping after them.
Okay, Christina's asking a question.
I will die as well.
Christina's asking a question. So if I crash my car, crawl back in to save my child, am I also a hero? No. You crashed the car. You saved the child. You're back to zero.
Now,
you're back to zero.
Was it your fault? Were you drunk driving?
If you were drunk driving and crashed your car, then crawled back in to save your child, you're even.
Yeah.
Why is this so hard for people to get a hold of? Like, look, it's a 1-in-1 scenario. It's 1-in-1.
Unless you crashed into another whole family, then you're...
Are they dead or alive?
Yeah. They are dead.
Okay,
then you're
that's
-1.
a tough one. Now, hold on.
You were back to villain.
I crash into a family.
Yes.
I save my daughter. Then I also save the family.
Oh, okay. No, well, you know what? I mean, that's good.
That's a rough back to zero. I feel like it's a rough back to zero. If everybody is alive.
Yeah. But, there's some people that are hurt, right? Or, like you had to
scratches,
save me.
Bruises, bruising, airbag, little heat on the face.
Well, then I would make the argument you didn't save me. You just came to see if I was
you could be dead. I did have to crawl in there. I had already crawled in my car and saved my daughter.
So imagine the OS.
Because he had 3 Bahama Mamas in him when he had to make that jump, and that's hard. Because you contemplate going, you're like, should I do it? And you're like 3 Bahama Mamas. You can't even see.
And then you swim away from the cruise ship because...
Well, that's because it's... let's talk about that.
Okay.
Why do you swim away from the cruise ship?
So, okay.
You know why? just because we all think that we're going to get sucked under by the cruise ship.
And I don't think that happens.
I don't think that happens.
So I remember in South Beach, Miami, when I was a young Tom Van, a
Yeah,
teen.
but he looked haircut like Vanilla Ice.
We used to take the bus and the train over to South Beach Pier, which is, I believe, is Government's Cut, where the cruise ships go in.
Yes.
It's the pier at South Beach. And we used to jump off the pier. And then you'd climb up the rocks back to and you just do that over and over as teens. And when cruise ships would come by, we'd jump off the pier, and the current would be super strong, would basically pull you towards where the cruise ship is going because it essentially,
Yeah, it's inertia.
And it was shockingly strong for the cruise ship was probably, 50 yards away from, it was pretty far.
Yeah.
And still, even that, it probably has to do with the shallowness of the inlet.
I would guess that it'd be stronger a little bit further away than it would be on the surface of the water close to the cruise ship. I don't know why I think that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, my brain is telling me if you fall straight down and the cruise ship's going straight, that it isn't just going to instantly by the sides of the boat suck you under. That doesn't make sense. It would suck you under further out because as the boat is going, the currents move further out because that's the way water moves as a ripple.
Yeah. And
effect.
the side of that boat is also, it's, I imagine another 20 foot deep. So, it would have to suck you down.
Our tugboat buddy is telling me I'm dead wrong.
Oh, okay. It will suck
and
you
I
down.
believe old Clark, Tug and Clark is my buddy.
He'll know better than us.
Maybe he could call in. Can you call in,
In
Tug
fact,
and Clark?
what do we know?
Yeah.
It's your fault for listening
That's
to
the
us.
new name of the show is What Do We Know?
We're just some talking ass, so I
Yeah.
have no idea about the
Literally,
physics of a
could be two dads sitting on the
cruise ship.
toilet talking to each other.
But it does, it can't suck you in that much if this dad was able to jump in, grab his daughter, then swim further enough.
On 3 Bahama Mama.
Yeah. I mean, because a cruise ship is going pretty fast. It's not slow.
No.
It doesn't give you much time to swim away from it. So I guess maybe if you get 10 to 20 feet away, then you're safe. You can't be right next to it. Think about how scared he was, though. It was at nighttime, too?
No, daytime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a lot
More scary. Well, they said Disney employees were saying if it had been at night, that's probably not gonna.
Yeah, because they can't see.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Everybody out there on the deck support. I mean, imagine sunlight. Everybody's on the deck. You got 1,000 spotters out there looking for you.
Yeah.
During the daylight, that's great. At night, good luck. I think we got Clark. Hey, buddy, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. So hey, so we're dead wrong on that cruise ship when the dad 3 Bahama Mamas, he sets her up there, she falls off allegedly. And then he jumps. How did he not get sucked in?
Well, on a cruise ship, you are displacing a lot more water. Don't get me wrong; it's going to be a little harder, but that water is more of a circulation, and they have such powerful motors and large props. It actually pulls you towards the center of the boat, and even if you're 20 feet away from it, it's going to push you. But if you're within 10 feet, it's going to pull you. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
No, because the props are so massive and they're underwater, they're sucking so much, pulling. But will it actually pull you underwater and into the prop?
Oh, yeah. So in Cape Canaveral about 6 years ago, whenever COVID, but they were delivering lumber around, and one of the guys fell off the back of a tug fell off the side of the tug that was pulling, and then he lost both his legs.
Ooh,
man.
Wow, that's rough.
Oh my God.
So,
but if I pull up and the tugboat captain has no legs, I'm like, that's a good captain.
Yeah.
I don't know why that builds trust in me, but
You
if I
have
see
to-
anybody on the sea with missing legs, I'm like, that guy knows what he's doing.
And your tugboat friends call you Lieutenant Dan forever after that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
you got to
right.
get peg legs, though.
Yes.
I would definitely have peg legs.
You know what I'd want to be called? Plug. Just
Now-
call me Plug.
That's with the smaller tugboat, but would that happen with a cruise ship?
Like I said, it's a little different with a cruise ship because of the displacement of the water. So there's a little bit more displacement. So if you imagine setting a cruise ship in the water, it's going to move all that water out of the way. But then as the cruise ship's moving, it's got cavitation underneath of it. And so water does come back under the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a possibility.
I'm writing down the word cavitation
Yeah.
real quick. Hold on.
Also,
You know what I heard real quick? I had heard, and Andrea told me this, that on some of the cruise ships, they have these pieces of it's almost like metal that go further down on the sides to kind of almost protect you from being sucked under. Is that true?
That I don't know.
It's
I
like
can look into it.
it's
I'll
like
call somebody.
some boats have a thing on the side of it that almost like the trucks we were talking about, 18-wheelers have the thing that go down.
Yeah.
It's almost like they have a piece that goes further down to kind of
so that if someone does fall
or
off
anything, debris, or
it doesn't get sucked in.
Yeah, I don't know if that
because you don't want anything sucked into the props because even if it's floating garbage, you don't want it sucked down there. That's what I was thinking that. It's like that they would design something or design it in a way that it wouldn't suck things into the prop because you don't want your prop damaged. Right. So even if it's some floating thing in the ocean, you're like, let's make this so it does not suck from the top of whatever's floating into the prop because our props are super expensive. You know? Anyway, well, Clark, thanks for
one of the things.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. One of the things I would say on that is, the cruise ships, they lower and raise themselves as they come into port. They just load water into the boat, so it sinks them down a little further. So that's something I could probably look into, but that might make it a little harder to get down there to the props. But if they're coming out of port and you're close, their props aren't that deep.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you know what? I shouldn't have said anything. Because what the hell do I know again? Clark knows.
Clark, thank you for telling us how wrong we are and calling in to correct us. You are our favorite tugboat captain.
No worries, guys. Always a pleasure talking with you.
You too, man. Be good, buddy. Stay safe. I love that guy. He's so fun.
So
who would guess that we'd have this many big boat questions?
Now, the only other way this girl could have fallen off is if she climbed up there herself.
Totally could have happened.
Like on a chair or something.
Totally possible.
And then got up and then fell off.
But again, it doesn't happen. You don't hear about it.
Yeah.
If it was so fun for 4-year-olds to get chairs, drag them to the edge, and jump over, again, not to steal this line from you.
Yeah.
Why isn't this happening all the time?
Yeah. You know, in MSC, I noticed that they designed the boat where there are no railings that would fall directly into the ocean.
Yeah.
That you just fall the deck below.
Yeah, so you just break your head.
Well, yeah. Essentially, everything is like all the cabins are in the
it's like a
cruise ship.
They built it like a pyramid.
And then and there's like a bottom deck that is essentially a catch-all. And then below that, there's no balconies or anything that like the guests could fall over. So it seems like, at least they thought about like, hey, we want to stop this from even being a possibility.
Yeah.
Because, even though it's super rare, I think it makes people scared of bringing their kids on a cruise.
I know people that won't go. I know like people that won't go just because they're like, I'm afraid I'm going to fall off.
When Crystal first brought the boys on the Tom and Dan cruise, she had a rational fear that they were somehow going to fall off.
I think I did
parent,
too. I think I did too.
Because the terrifying notion of falling into the middle of the ocean and being left behind by a cruise ship is the scariest way or one of the scariest ways.
Potion is the scariest notion of falling in the ocean is something the potion.
Yeah, swimming in a black ocean by yourself is terrifying.
Imagine you and Tommy.
Yeah.
Laying on your backs in the ocean, looking at the cosmic star. I mean, the most stars you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's under you, and nothing but utter black.
Just
a black hole, just stars, and you can't see any boats around you, and I mean, that almost makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, I was like, you think this is bad? Wait until the sun comes out and burns us while we float.
Like an old fish.
Yeah. Then we're gonna be constantly turning over and
don't forget to rotate.
And the question is, how long do we hold out hope?
Like a rotisserie chicken.
We're both logical. I'm just gonna swim down as far as I can.
Hold the breath a little bit. All right, just blow out and swim. Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
That's a funny segment.
Yeah.
Well, those worked out pretty good. All right, and then lunch, right?
Yeah, and we can do a couple